Good morning, students. In the previous sessions of the same chapter, that is about continuity and differentiability, we have worked out some problems in which we have discussed or examined whether the given function is continuous or not. If a point is given, at that point we calculate. If a point is not given, we take a general point, and at that point we try to find out whether it is continuous or not. Sometimes in the whole of the domain we have calculated whether it is a continuous function or not by depending upon the problem that has been asked. Now I told in the earlier sessions that the procedure, the method to work out the problems will be same for all types of problems. Only you have to write the answer in whatever way the question has been asked. In today's session, I am going to work out some problems where I am calculating the points of discontinuity. That is, here also the exact point will not be given. You have to take the whole domain depending upon how the function is defined. You have to take the whole domain into consideration, and then you have to discuss where exactly it is continuous, whether there is any point of discontinuity or not. Sometimes it may so happen that whole of the domain it may be continuous, or at a particular point it may be continuous, or it may be discontinuous. So let us take the problems one by one. Now the first problem, find all the points of discontinuity of the function f given by, the first problem is f of x is defined in two ways. First part is 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3 if x is less than or equal to 2. 2x plus 3 if it is less than or equal to 2. And the other way is 2x minus 3 if x is greater than 2. X is greater than 2. See here, they have not, you have to find the points of discontinuity. At a point is not given. If it is a particular point is given, you can take only that point and find out. Now the whole domain you have to consider here. See how the function is defined here. It is defined in two different ways. When x takes a value less than or equal to 2, the function should be taken as 2x plus 3. When x takes a value greater than 2, all real numbers only, it is defined in the way 2x minus 3. So, three cases we discuss here. First one, when x is less than 2, that is before number 2, what about the continuity? Is it continuous or not? Then, if the value of x is more than 2, that is after 2, the function is behaving like this, and what about the continuity? Will it be continuous or not? So, before 2, after 2. And exactly 2 means at this point we are calculating means for the left hand limit function is defined like this. For the right hand limit it is defined like this. Therefore, when you take the point exactly x equal to 2, we have to consider both the left hand limit as well as the right hand limit. Otherwise, for the value less than 2, for the value greater than 2, we take a general point c, and at that point we try to find out about the continuity of the function. So let me write it as case 1. Case 1, let x be less than 2, strictly less than 2. Then it is f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. Now it is a polynomial function. Now it is defined for all the real values. Now let c less than 2 be any number, be any real number. Any real number. Let c less than 2 be any real number. Then let me find the value. F of c is equal to 2c plus 3. Wherever x is there, write the value. Then calculate the limit also. Limit of fx as x tends to c. Here, don't bother about left hand limit, right hand limit, because we are considering a general number here. This is equal to limit of 2x plus 3 as x tends to c. So, this is also equal to 2c plus 3. But what is fc here? 2c plus 3. What is the limit fx as x tends to c? That is also equal to 2c plus 3. That is, this is equal to f of c. So how do you write the conclusion? The limit as well as the value of the function, they are equal for all x less than 2. Therefore, you have to write fx is continuous. Fx is continuous for all x less than 2. This is the first case, for all x less than 2. Now let us take the other possibility, that is case 2, second case. Let me take here, let me take the value x to be greater than 2. That is this possibility. Let x be greater than 2, then what is 2f of x equal to? It is 2x minus 3. Now, and same procedure is same. We have done in the earlier problems also. Let c greater than 2 be any real number. Then what would be f of c equal to? This is 2c minus 3. I am just rubbing and writing because the argument holds good along the same lines. Now taking the limit of this one, and where this is only the change is minus there. So it is 2x minus 3, therefore that is 2c minus 3, which is nothing but the value of the function for all c greater than 2. Therefore, how do you write this one? Fx is also continuous for all x greater than 2. So, when x takes the value less than 2, any real value, it is continuous. When x takes the value greater than 2, it is continuous. Now, what is the other possibility? Now, let us take exactly x equal to 2. So, let me consider case 3. Okay, let x be exactly equal to 2. Now, it is same value, not lesser greater than. So, equality is here. That means when x is equal to 2 also, the function is defined like this. That is, f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. Then f of x equal to 2x plus 3. But we are calculating the value exactly at x equal to 2. So, no question of taking c here. It is f of 2 would be 2 into 2 plus 4. Therefore, f of 2 is equal to 2 into 2 plus 3, 2 2s are 4 plus 3, 7. Therefore, what is the value of the function now? At exactly 2, the value of the function is 7. Now, you observe here, when x takes the value 2, this number 2 can be approached in two different ways. Through the values less than 2, through the values greater than 2. Therefore, we have to consider here the left hand limit as well as the right hand limit. That means, first let me take the left hand limit. Left hand limit means limit of fx as x tends to, how do you write the left hand limit? 2 minus, but we are substituting the value 2 only. So, this would be equal to limit of 2x plus 3 as x tends to 2 minus. Don't because I am writing minus, don't give minus 2 here. We are giving the value 2 only. That minus sign shows that we are calculating the left hand limit. So, 2 2s are 4 plus 3, that would be equal to 7. Now, so here we cannot come to the conclusion because the value is also 7, the left hand limit is also 7. After we know the right hand limit only, we can come to the conclusion. Now, limit of fx as x tends to 2 plus, that is equal to limit of 2x minus 3. For the right hand limit, it is defined like this, x tends to 2 plus. Now, this is 2 into 2 minus 3, 4 minus 3, that is 1. What do you observe here? Left hand limit is 7, right hand limit is 1. That is, left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. What does it mean? It means that limit of fx as x tends to 2 does not exist. Does not exist. See, this is a condition I have told for the discontinuity at a point. So, at x equal before 2 it is continuous, after 2 it is continuous. At exactly 2, the value is 7, the left hand limit 7, the right hand limit 1. So the the function is defined there, no problem, but the limit does not exist. Therefore, what is our conclusion? The function is discontinuous at x equal to 2. Write that one. Therefore, fx is not continuous. Fx is not continuous at x equal to 2. See, what was the question I had asked you? Find all the points of the discontinuity. This is how the instruction is given to you. That is, you have to find the point of discontinuity. So how do you write the answer? I am telling you repeatedly, whenever you want to write the answer, no, look at the way the question has been asked here. That is, if they have asked you find the or examine the continuity, you can just stop there. It is not continuous, x equal to 2. But here I am asking you find the points of discontinuity. Therefore, while writing the conclusive sentence, you have to write like this. That is, see, here we have seen that x equal to 2, it is not continuous. Therefore, you write x is equal to 2 is the point of discontinuity. Point of discontinuity. Okay. So this is how you have to write the answer or the conclusive sentence. In whatever way they have asked the question, write the answer in the same way. So here, when the function is defined like this, so depending upon the function that has been defined, you have to consider the different cases. Sometimes no, equal to 2, unequal to 2, like that it would be given. In that case, no, we don't consider the left hand limit or right hand limit. Left hand limit or right hand limit is considered, both of them are considered only when we are having either less than 2 or greater than 2, less than 1. So when the inequality is there, no, that shows that the number can be approached in two different ways. That means that the left hand limit, right hand limit have to be calculated separately. Now, let me move on to the next problem. Here, you have to be careful in following me because I am considering a modulus function here. F of x equal to mod x divided by x if x is not equal to 0. X is not equal to 0 and this is equal to 0 if x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. See, each and different types of problems I am considering here. Each problem is a little bit different from the previous one. That is, you have to be careful about understanding the definition of the function here. If fx is defined as modulus of x divided by x when x is not equal to 0. Not equal to 0 means it can take a negative value or it can take a positive value. Okay, it will be less than 0 or greater than 0. So then you have to consider the function like this. When if x is equal to 0, when x takes the exact value of 0, the value of f of x is given to be equal to 0. So we know the value of x at x equal to 0. It is 0 itself. So f of 0 is 0, that is not. When x is not equal to 0, we have to find out what would be the limit of that one. Because here I am considering the modulus function, it would be again we will be having the left hand limit as well as the right hand limit. Suppose the modulus sign is not there, no, directly you can get the limit of the function. So let us argue like this. When x is equal to 0, it is again first this case I am considering f of x is equal to 0. This they have already given. That is f of 0 equal to 0. That is the meaning. When x is 0, f of x is 0 means f of 0 would be equal to 0. So this is the value of the function. Now let us look at the limit of the function. For the limit of the function, that is when x is not equal to 0. When x is not equal to 0. So that's what I am telling you. In the previous problem we had that less than, greater than. So before 2, after 2 we found out the function was continuous. At exactly 2, since the function was defined in two different ways, now we have to consider the left hand limit as well as the right hand limit. Here also we have to do because it is not an ordinary function, it is a special function, that is modulus function. So when x is not equal to 0, how is the function defined? It is modulus of x divided by x. You know the definition of mod x. I hope remember we have considered in some earlier case also, earlier session also. F of x equal to mod x means it is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. This is equal to plus x if x is greater than or equal to 0. So f of 0 is 0, it is given. That means that when x takes a negative value, it would be equal to minus x. When x takes a positive value, it would be equal to plus x. So that definition of mod x, we have discussed the same problem in the earlier case, but we had only the modulus function. Now here, when x is not equal to 0, f of x is mod x by x. Now we have to consider the left hand limit. Left hand limit equal to limit of fx. At 0 we are calculating as x tends to 0 minus. That would be equal to limit of, see here x is tending to minus 0 minus means we are considering this function, that is when x is less than 0, mod x can be written as minus x, that is you have to write limit of mod x by x. One more step you write 0 minus equal to limit of, what is mod x equal to? It is minus x divided by x as x tends to 0 minus. I am calculating the left hand limit. Now minus x by plus x is minus 1. Now this is the limit. See, when x is there, you can write the value 0. We have already got a real number here, a constant. So that itself becomes the left hand limit. Now come to the right hand limit. Right hand limit means limit of fx as x tends to 0 plus, that is 0 has been approached through the values more than 0 from the positive side. This is from the negative side. So how is the function defined? It is plus x, that is limit of plus x by plus x as x tends to 0 plus. Plus x by plus x, what is the value? It is plus 1. What did we get here? Left hand limit was minus 1. Right hand limit was plus 1. Therefore, when x is equal to 0, the value has been given as 0. When x is not equal to 0, I am getting the limit of the function. When x is not equal to 0, fx is defined like this. So we have to get the limit of the function. But we observe that both the limits are unequal. That is left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. That means that when x is equal to 0, the value is 0. When x is not equal to 0, the limit does not exist at all. Here, when x is not equal to 0 means, I am not saying whether it is positive or negative. For any value which is not equal to 0, that is the meaning of this one. When x equal to 0, it is 0. When x is not equal to 0, the limit itself doesn't exist at all. So you have to write the sentence like this, that is, the limit of the function doesn't exist at all. So how do you write this one? At x equal to 0, we see that this is the only point of discontinuity. The value was 0 and the limit is not defined, that is minus 1, this is plus 1. So as in the previous problem, you have to write the next sentence, the limit of the function does not exist. So does not exist, and of course the function is defined 0. Both the limits are there, but they are unequal. Therefore, finally you have to write x is equal to 0 is the point of discontinuity. So before 0, after 0, we need not. Even that you can, when x is less than 0, greater than 0, you can take separately also. Then you will be getting the same thing. It would be continued. But at the point exactly equal to 0, the function becomes discontinuous. So to write the answer, you have to use the sentence. Therefore, x is equal to 0 is the point of discontinuity. Okay. So this is how the function the problem has to be solved and the answers have to be written. See, always read the problem correctly. Okay. So when you read the problem, Of course, when you take the value x less than 0, here also you can argue like this. When x takes the value less than, modulus means when x takes the value less than 0, f of x is equal to minus 1, a constant, it is continuous. So, for all x less than 0, it is continuous. For all x greater than 0, the value would be equal to 1 plus 1. So, it is a constant means it is continuous. But exactly at x equal to 0, it is the left hand limit is minus 1, the right hand limit is plus 1. Therefore, you cannot, the limit, they are not equal, that means the limit does not exist. So, at x equal to 0, it becomes a point of discontinuity. So, we will write the answer right. Therefore, x is equal to 0 is a point of discontinuity. Now, next problem also involves the modulus function, but here it is a little bit lengthier than the previous two problems. Now, understand this problem carefully. See, in all the earlier problems which I worked out in the earlier sessions, only one number was mentioned in the domain. Less than or equal to 0, greater than 0, less than or equal to 1, greater than 1, or less than 3, greater than or equal to 3, something like only one number was given. So, how did you solve the problem? We took all the values less than that number, we took all the values greater than that number, we calculated at that particular number, whatever may be the number. That means only one point was mentioned in the domain. So, we had three cases, before that, after that, at that point. Now, look at this particular problem here, understand it carefully. F of x is equal to modulus of x plus 3 if x is less than or equal to minus 3. The second possibility, it is equal to minus 2x if minus 3 less than x less than plus 3. And lastly, this is equal to 6x plus 2 if x is greater than or equal to 3. Greater than or equal to 3. So, this problem you have to understand carefully. Just now I told you, in almost all the previous problems I have worked out, only one number was in the domain, mentioned in the domain. So, before that, after that, at that point we calculated. How many numbers are there here? One is minus 3, the other one is plus 3. So, here we have to discuss one more case, one extra case. That is, for all x less than, strictly less than minus 3, before minus 3, we have to consider. For all x greater than plus 3, after 3, above 3, we have to consider. And then 2 points are there, at both the points you have to calculate. At x is equal to minus 3, how does it behave? At x is equal to plus 3, how does it behave? So, you have to consider here how many cases? 4 cases. Less than minus 3, greater than plus 3, at x equal to minus 3, at x equal to plus 3. So, here we consider 4 cases. First, let me take the extreme cases, before minus 3 and after plus 3. Then we come to the in-between points. Now, let me consider, here you have to be careful. Case 1, let x be strictly less than 3, no equality. Of course, here there is minus equality sign, I am taking a strict inequality. Let x be minus 3, less than minus 3, x be less than minus 3. Then how is the function defined? F of x is equal to modulus of x plus 3. See, when the modulus function comes, you have to be careful. Depending upon the definition or the values that we are assigning, you have to write the sign of this one. And just now in the previous problem also I had considered the modulus function. How do you define that one? F of x equal to minus x when x is negative, x is less than 0. That is the definition of a modulus function. Now, I am taking values for x less than minus 3. Minus 3 itself is negative. Less than minus 3 would be, it would be a negative number. Then what happens here? f of x should be taken as minus x plus 3. Okay, though modulus function is there, for this particular set of values, the function becomes minus x. So now we have to discuss for the function f of x equal to minus x plus 3. Now here we are taking, as usual, we take a general point. Let c be less than minus 3, be any real number, be any real number. Okay, then what would be f of c here? I am not giving any particular value for c. C is some real number which is less than minus 3, strictly less than minus 3. F of c would be minus c plus 3, that is this one, and find the limit of fx as x tends to c, as x tends to c. Again in this one we put it as, we put the value c, minus c, it is not minus c, we are putting the value c, so it is minus c plus 3. The value of the function is minus c plus 3, the limit of the function is minus c plus 3. So what can be our conclusion here? The value and the limit of the functions are equal to each other for all x less than minus 3. I am not giving a particular value. For all x, whatever may the value, it should be strictly less than minus 3. The function is continuous. So write the conclusion. Therefore, fx is continuous. Fx is continuous for all x less than minus 3, strictly less than minus 3. Now this is the first case. Now I told you we will be considering the extreme cases. Then we will come to the points in between. Okay, case 2. Here let x be greater than plus 3. Those are the endpoints I am considering. Minus 3, the other one is plus 3. Let x be greater than 3. For greater than or equal to, greater than I am considering, how is the function defined here? It is 6x plus 2. Then the function is f of x equal to 6x plus 2. We don't have any modulus here, so no worry, directly you write. Now procedure is same. Let the c greater than 3 be any real number, any real number. The argument is same whenever you consider the general point. Then f of c is equal to 6c plus 2 and find the limit of fx as x tends to c. Same thing here, that is also 6x plus 2. So you observe that both of them are equal to each other. So what is our conclusion? Again, same thing, fx is continuous for all x strictly greater than 3. So before minus 3 the function was continuous, after plus 3 the function was continuous. So what is remaining now? Now at two exact points have been left out. So we will be considering two more cases at exactly equal to 3 and exactly equal to minus 3. So one by one we will consider. Now let me take the point x is equal to minus 3. So at x is equal to minus 3 we have to, or x is equal to plus 3, any one point you can consider. Now let me take the third case, case 3. Now at x is equal to minus 3. I am giving a particular value here, not a vague general value I am not considering here. It is at x is equal to minus 3. Now x equal to minus 3, equality is also there, inequality. X equal to minus 3 means it is f of x equal to, how is the function defined? It is modulus of x plus 3. Modulus of x plus 3. Now modulus of x means, now we have to first find the value of that one, that is f of minus 3. Give the value minus 3 because we have to get the value of the function at that point x is equal to minus 3. So f of minus 3, this is how the function is defined. Then it is modulus of minus 3 plus 3. What is the meaning of modulus function? It always gives you, or the image always is a positive quantity. So modulus of minus 3 is 3. So 3 plus 3, therefore f of minus 3 would be equal to 6. So this is the what? This is the value of the function. Value of the function is plus 6. Now look here. Here this number minus 3 can be approached in two different ways. See, when x value through the values less than minus 3, through the values greater than minus 3. So for the left hand limit, this has to be taken into consideration. For right hand limit, we have to consider these two, the second part of that one. So whenever you are calculating at a particular point, we have to consider the left hand limit as well as the right hand limit, again depending upon the definition of the function. We are having inequality less than minus 3. Here minus 3 less than x means x is greater than minus 3. So we have to consider both the left hand limit as well as the right hand limit. So for this point, we have to consider the left hand limit, that is limit of fx as x tends to minus 3 minus. Minus 3 has to be substituted, that minus that superscript that shows that we are calculating the left hand limit. And how is the function defined there? See, that is for this part. For the left hand limit, the function is defined as modulus of x plus 3, that is equal to limit of modulus of x plus 3, and x is tending to minus 3 minus. X is tending to minus 3 minus. Now, that shows that you have to substitute the value minus 3 for the value x there. So this would be modulus of minus 3 plus 3, that is 3 plus 3, that would be again equal to 6. What is that one? That is nothing but the left hand limit. Now come to the right hand limit. See, look here. For x less than minus 3, function is defined like this. For x greater than minus 3, it is defined like this. Right hand limit means the number minus 3 can be approached from the right hand side also. So this is minus 3 still. It is plus, that means we are calculating the right hand limit, or the number minus 3 has been approached through the values greater than minus 3, or in other words from the right hand side of minus 3. So how is the function defined? It is like this: limit of minus 2x as x tends to minus 3 plus. Repeatedly I am telling, this number has to be substituted. So minus 2 into minus 3, that is also equal to 6. So what you observe here? The left hand limit is 6. The right hand limit is 6. And value of the function at that point is also equal to 6. So what is our conclusion? The limit exists, it is exactly equal to 6. The value exists, it is also exactly equal to 6. That is, you write the left hand limit equal to right hand limit is equal to f of minus 3. All of them are equal. Left hand limit equal to right hand limit means the limit exists, and the limit of the function, value of the function, they are equal to each other. Hence our conclusion is the function is continuous at x is equal to minus 3. So less than minus 3 or before minus 3, it is continuous. Greater than plus 3, it is continuous. And exactly x equal to minus 3, also it is continuous. And what is the remaining part now? We are having only one more point here, that is nothing but x is equal to plus 3. So here, because before minus 3, after plus 3 we have calculated, at x equal to exactly minus 3 also we have calculated. The last part is at x is equal to exactly 3. So exactly 3 means, again we have to consider the value first. First let me take, when x takes the value 3, how is the function defined? This is the one, that is f of x equal to 6x plus 2. F of x equal to, here we have inequality, here equality, 6x plus 2. But now we are calculating the value at 3 plus 3. Therefore, f of 3 equal to 6 into 3 plus 2, 6 3 is 18 plus 2, 20. Now this is the value of function at x equal to 3. Now to know about this one, whether it is continuous or not, no, we have to calculate the limit of the function. To find the limit of the function, look at the definition of the function. For all x less than 3, function is defined like this. For all x greater than 3, the function is defined like this. That means that for the left hand limit, this should be taken. For the right hand limit, this has to be taken. Now, here itself, we will start. Left hand limit is equal to limit of fx as x tends to 3 minus, that is equal to limit of minus 2x as x tends to 3 minus. So minus 2 into 3, that would be equal to minus 6. Now, is it necessary to proceed? Look here, in one or two of the earlier problems, when we calculated the value and one side limit, they were equal. So we could not come to any conclusion. So we proceeded to get the right hand limit. Now look here, and of course for the function to be continuous, the left hand limit, right hand limit should be, both of them should be equal to each other and should be equal to the value. See, the value is 20, the left hand limit is minus 6. Here itself we can see that they are not equal to each other. If you want, you can calculate the right hand limit also. Right hand limit means we are considering this one. So 6 is 18 plus 2, we will be getting 20. That is, the value is equal to only the right hand limit, not the left hand limit. That is, you can write the left hand limit is not equal to f of 3. F of 3. So here itself we can come to the conclusion, or else you can calculate right hand limit. In this problem it is not necessary. So the limit and left hand limit itself is not equal to the value. Therefore you can say x is equal to 3, at x equal to 3, the function fx is discontinuous. The function fx is discontinuous. We were asked to find out the point of discontinuity. So the function involved 2 points here. The domain involved 2 points, exact points here. Before minus 3, after plus 3, we calculated. But at exactly minus 3 and exactly 3, minus 3 it was continuous and 3 it was discontinuous. So while writing the answer, we write it as x is equal to 3 is the only point of discontinuity. Now this is how we have to write the answer. We have to write the answer here. Now, sometimes it may so happen that when you consider the point, before that a particular point and after that the whole domain we consider, it may so happen that each and every point it will be continuous. In that case, how do you write the answer? You have to write the answer as there is no point of discontinuity. It may so happen in some function it will be continuous, some function it will not be continuous at all. You can write it as there is no point of discontinuity. Now, while writing the answer, so in this problem or in all the problems I have worked out here, we can say that one point, usually we have got in all the 3 problems only one point of discontinuity. So you have to write there is only one point, whatever may be the point you have to mention, so one point of discontinuity. Now let me consider another problem in which just now I mentioned that there may not be any point of discontinuity. What do you mean by that one? We mean that the function is a continuous function. That is, when you draw the graph of the function, there will not be any break in the function. There will not be any break in the function. Now, let me consider another problem where the function is again involving a modulus function. That is, f of x is equal to x divided by modulus of x, x divided by modulus of x, if x is not equal to 0, not equal to 0, it is less than 0. We have got the inequality. X is less than 0 and this is exactly equal to minus 1 if x is either greater than or equal to 0. See here again we have the inequality, less than 0 or greater than or equal to 0. Now only one point is mentioned. In the previous problem, in the domain, we had two particular points. So at those 2 points we had to calculate. Here, only one point is specified. So what we have to calculate? For all x less than 0, we have to find out how does the function behave. For all x greater than 0, we have to find out how the function behaves. When x is exactly equal to 0, how does it behave? So how many cases altogether we have? 3 cases. If only one point is involved, if you are having inequality, that you have to remember. If you are having inequality, there would be 3 cases. Okay? If there is not inequality, equal to or unequal to like that, there may be only 2 cases. First we will discuss all the 3. So there are 3 cases which have to be discussed. Now one by one we will be considering. Case 1. Case 1. First let me take, let x be less than 0, the negative value. Less than 0 means it is the negative values I am considering. Now let us see how the function is defined. Then f of x is equal to modulus of x, x divided by modulus of x. The function is defined like this. F of x would be equal to x divided by mod x. That is how it has been given. Now again we go back to the definition of the modulus function. What's the meaning of the modulus function? Modulus of x means it is equal to minus x for x less than 0. It is equal to plus x for x greater than 0. Here we are considering the value of x to be less than 0. So how would be the function here? X divided by minus x. X divided by minus x, which can be cancelled, hence we are having minus 1. So here f of x is equal to minus 1. That is, for all the negative values here, I am not giving a particular value. For all the negative values of x here, f of x is equal to minus 1. Here we need not consider any c, gender point not necessary, directly we can write. Suppose you take a point c which is strictly less than 0 here. Then if you write f of c, the value is minus 1. When you take the limit also, being a constant, it remains as it is. When the variable is there, we substitute the value, c or whatever it is. When there is no variable at all, so the limit is also minus 1. Suppose you take a c less than 0, then f of c is minus 1. And what is the limit here? Limit fx, that is also equal to minus 1 because there is no variable at all, it is a constant. So how do you conclude that one? We can say that the function is continuous because it is a constant function. First year PUC, you have studied about the nature of the function here. Constant means it would be a straight line here, isn't it? Therefore, there is no break in that one. So, for all the negative values of x, now the function becomes a continuous function. That is, there is no discontinuity at any particular point when you take it less than 0, that is when x is a negative, when it takes the negative values, it would be continuous. Now let me take the second case. Case 2, here let x be greater than 0. That is this case I am considering. First I always take the extreme cases, before that, after that. Then we will come to the particular point 0 there. When x is greater than 0, how is the function defined? It is f of x is equal to minus 1. See, in the case of first case, when x was less than 0, we had the function defined like this. Because it was negative, we took modulus of x to be minus x. X by minus x was minus 1, which was a constant, so it was continuous. Now, for x greater than 0, it is already given to be a constant, minus 1. Now, f of x equal to minus 1, you can write the sentence like this also. F of x equal to minus 1 being a constant function is continuous. So, for all x less than 0, we have seen that it is continuous. For all x greater than 0, we have seen that it is continuous because in both the cases, the function is a continuous function is a constant function. Therefore, we can come to the conclusion that it is continuous for negative value x and positive value x. Now, the problem is it exactly equal to 0. Now case 3. Case 3. Now, at x equal to exactly 0. This is our problem. When exactly 0, we are having greater than and equality. So, the value has been given. Fx is equal to minus 1. F of x equal to minus 1 when x is equal to 0. That is, f of 0 is minus 1. F of 0 minus 1, what you mean by that one? It is the value of the function at x equal to 0. Now look here. This number 0 can be approached in two different ways. Through the values less than 0, through the values greater than 0. Automatically, the question of left hand limit and the right hand limit comes into picture. That is, limit fx as x tends to 0 minus. How it is defined? Come to this part. It is limit of x divided by mod x as x tends to 0 minus. Since it is the negative values we are considering, it becomes limit of x divided by minus x as x tends to 0 minus. So, x by minus x is minus 1. What is that one? Left hand limit is minus 1. Now, come to the right hand limit. That is limit of fx as x tends to 0 plus. So, when x, this one, through the values more than 0 or to the positive values, it is already given to be minus 1. Because it is a constant, we need not write any value, it remains the same. So, left hand limit is minus 1, right hand limit minus 1. What does it mean? It means that limit of fx as x tends to 0, don't write plus or minus here because we are considering both the limits together, is minus 1, which is nothing but f of 0. So, the limit is minus 1, the value is minus 1. So, what is our conclusion? It is continuous at x equal to 0. In the earlier two cases, we had learnt that, we had discussed, we had argued that before for the negative value it was continuous, for the positive value it was continuous, at exactly equal to 0 also it is continuous. So, how do you write the conclusion here? Here we were asked to find the points of discontinuity. Therefore, you have to write there is no point of discontinuity. There is no point of discontinuity. So, this is the procedure you have to adopt to write the answer. Okay. So, here, so any other problem we come across now, if the question is asked to find the points of discontinuity, depending upon the definition of the function, you consider the different cases. So, here we have discussed 4 problems. In all the three problems, we had only one point inside the domain of that one. So, we considered 3 cases, before or after or at that point. In one problem, we had 2 numbers, 3 and minus 3. So, one extra case we have to discuss, before minus 3, after plus 3, at minus 3, at plus 3 we have to discuss. We saw that only one point discontinuity was there. In all the remaining places, the function was continuous. That means there was no break in the graph. Whereas in the last problem, the function is continuous at all the points. So, I had asked a question that find the points of discontinuity. So, I am writing there is no point of discontinuity. Or if I had asked you the question, examine the continuity of the function, now you should have written the function fx is a continuous function. There is no point, it does not have any break in the graph at all. So, it is a continuous function. Because I have asked you about finding the point of discontinuity, the answer should be presented or the conclusion should be written like this, there is no point of discontinuity. So, in the coming sessions again, no derivation or no definition, only the problems I am going to work out in the coming sessions also. Thank you.